This is the easiest and best homemade pesto that you'll ever have. It takes about 10 minutes, and I'm gonna show you how to make it right now. All right, let's kick off this pesto. This is like one of the simplest, most old school Italian dishes. It's basically basil, pine nuts, Parmesan garlic, and salt and olive oil ground up in a pestle and mortar. First thing we're gonna do is really wash our basil leaves. You don't want to skip this part because who knows where they were grown and who knows what kind of pesticides are on them. You can actually use the stems to flavor olive oil, just like toss them in, leave them completely covered for like a week or two to make delicious olive oil. But I'm gonna compost them. So, toss all the leaves in here. If they're a little bit bruised, that's okay. This batch is really fresh, so I think we're gonna be all right. Almost done. All right, that's it. So now we're gonna go over here. All right, it's time to take these bad boys and give them a good rinse. We're gonna do this a couple times actually. Really wanna get these things clean and extra dry. Pop them in the salad spinner. See all the water that comes out of there? Don't be lazy, that took 2 seconds. I know some people just kind of want to give it a quick swish around under the water and then put it on some paper towels, but you should really clean it. We've got our basil here, but you can probably see that it's still a little bit wet. So to be sure it's extra dry and there's no sort of water getting mixed into this, we're gonna just lay these boys on some paper towels here. My neighbors are listening to Hamilton, can you hear that? We're gonna let these dry and kick things off with the old pestle and mortar. Do not pull out a food processor if you're watching this video. Don't do it. A food processor or a blender is just gonna sort of slice through the cell walls of the veggies, but a pestle and mortar will actually pound through the cell walls, allowing the basil and garlic to really release all the juices, and it's gonna make this way better than any pesto you've ever had in a food processor. So let's go. All right, let's get this pesto going here. We're gonna just take 1 clove of garlic. You can use 2, but I really wouldn't do more than that. The star of the show here really is the basil. You don't want to overpower this with garlic, even though I love garlic. So I'm gonna pop it in here, just hit it with the pestle to knock the skin off. We're gonna throw in a little bit of coarse salt. This is gonna help with grinding with the pestle. You really want to pound it in and then kind of go all around the sides. Use your hands so that you don't, make a huge mess in your kitchen. You don't need to add too much salt because we're going to add some Parmesan cheese later, which is going to add a lot of saltiness. Now we're going to toss in some pine nuts. You don't really need to toast these or anything. You can put them in raw. I'm just sort of eyeballing the measurements here. You can do more or less based on the size of your mortar. You really want to pound and grind in a circular motion here. Make sure you hit the sides. You don't want to leave like any big chunks in here. Now we're going to add our basil in just sort of a handful at a time. While I'm grinding away here, I want to take a second to mention that I'm working with the Better Internet Initiative, supported by the Fellow Americans Education Fund. I'm trying to, use whatever audience I have to help spread some positive, useful information about coronavirus and how we can slow the spread. So let's quickly talk about testing. There's 2 kinds of testing available for COVID-19. There's viral tests and antibody tests. A viral test tells you if you have a current infection, and an antibody test tells you if you have had a previous infection. As testing becomes more widely available, it is recommended that everyone who can go get tested, particularly anyone who has been in a high-risk setting. Close contact less than 6 feet apart with someone who could have had COVID-19 for just 10 minutes is considered high risk. So please, go get tested. All right, back to the video. I like to use a spoon here to clean up the pestle. Make sure you get everything in there nice and incorporated. Let in a few more basil leaves. And just smash. This is why pestle and mortar is more fun. Been on the news all day, you're just angry at the world. Take your pestle and mortar and just smash. Feels good. Can't get that kind of satisfaction with the food processor. Anyway, we're gonna keep pounding away. All of our basil's in there now. It's starting to look good, starting to smell delicious. You got the garlic, the basil, releasing all their delicious juices, breaking down those cell walls. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and grate in some Parmesan cheese. You could use, you know, Romano, Pecorino Romano, but I prefer Parmesan just because it has a really nice salty flavor. You know, Pecorino Romano could have kind of a funky taste that not everyone's super into. We're just going to start emulsifying this by adding a little bit of olive oil. And we're slowly just going to kind of mix this together. If you had a lot more basil, this will be a lot darker. Mine's looking sort of like guacamole because I put a ton of Parmesan in there. But that's because I love Parmesan, so whatever. A little more olive oil. Mix it all up. Now it's a beautiful, delicious pesto paste. Pesto's amazing. You can keep it in the fridge. You can put it on, you know, toast. You can put it on pasta salad cold. You can put it on any kind of, you know, spaghetti, pasta, whatever kind of noodles you like. You can do a lot of things with it. You could use it with pizza, you know, throw a little on there with some ricotta maybe. Taste this as you go. See what you like, see what you don't like. You could do, you know, if you want a little bit more crunch, you could add in breadcrumbs instead of pine nuts. You can substitute pretty much everything in here except for the basil. I wouldn't really do that. You can use other herbs, like, you know, if you've got some cilantro, you could throw it in there, whatever. But basil's really, you know, like I said before, basil's the star of the show. All right, I'm happy with this, so I'm gonna make a little bit of pasta and then save the rest for later. Casarecci. All right, so we got our pesto. It's done. It is delicious. I've been like just snacking on it with saltine crackers off camera. But I got some casarecci pasta here ready, cooked al dente. This is the shape of that pasta. If you can make that out there, it's sort of like it's got kind of like this little curly shape to it, so it can really catch the sauce. Anyway, we're gonna hit this. A little bit of our pesto. And a little bit of pasta water. I got this pasta because it's like a bit of a better brand. It's got a lot of starch on it. You can really see in the package. So I know that the pasta water is gonna be really starchy. And anyone who makes a lot of pasta knows that starchy pasta water is basically liquid gold. So this is gonna help kind of bring this whole dish together. And you know we're gonna top it with a little bit more Parmesan cheese. Oh, one got away from me there. See, it's that beautiful green color. That's really it. Super simple, it takes only a few minutes. I added a little bit of black pepper, a little extra Parmesan. We're good to go, baby. Really meant to be eaten fresh, but you know, if you want to save it for dinner or whatever, pop it in a little airtight container and cover it with a little bit of olive oil and you're good to go. That's pesto. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, like, and I'll see you next time.